Hello everyone, happy Friday. This is Brendan Murphy for the Fellowship of the Open Spokes, and today we're talking about being an open educator. And that means a lot. Usually as educators we started out collecting free stuff. You know, we're young, we're poor, we're just out of college. The search for free stuff usually leads us, it led me at least, into the realm of open education resources. And we find that that's a lot more complicated than just being free. Though often it's one of the big parts of open education. It's not the most important part, actually. The important part for being an open educator is sharing our process of creating the materials. How I made this and how I use it, and then share it with other teachers who might see things that I missed, or might use it in their classroom and say, look, it works better if you do it this way. Or maybe they just take it in a complete different tangent and use it in a way I never even thought of. We don't create things in a vacuum. We don't just create stuff for ourselves or our own personal gain, but we create stuff to make education better. And this is a point that becomes very difficult for a lot of people. Darren Karoptova, that Ben mentioned in his vlog, he wrote a post a couple of weeks ago on teachers pay teachers, and his contention is that public educators who create resources during the school day using school technology or computers or resources really are compelled to share that openly with other educators. And a lot of the teachers, there's a lot of teachers who respond. Those teachers were really offended by this because, well, first they said, well, we don't have time during the day, so we did this on our own time. And they said the technology that we're given as teachers is not up to the task of really creating quality material, so we used our own technology. And so we created this on our own time, using our own technology. We should have the right to sell it. And they're absolutely right. That's the big thing between open in the marketplace is sometimes it's you have to make those choices between making a living and being open and sharing. But they're not always mutually exclusive. There's a great company called Red Hat who creates a Linux distribution operating system for computers, and their free version is called Fedora because Linux is an open sourced operating system that the inventor Linus Torvalds probably could have sold for billions and become a Bill Gates type person. But instead he said, no, this is open source. So there's two rules. You have to give away, you have to make access to your product for free, and you have to share the source code for anybody freely. And that's what Red Hat does. Their Fedora project is exactly the same as the Red Hat project, but they give away Fedora and they sell Red Hat, and what they sell is a copy on disk and service and that sort of stuff. So they do make money that way, or at least they did. I haven't followed the company for a long while. But not everyone can do that. Teachers giving stuff away, they can't consult with other teachers. So that seems to be a big trend these days. I know a lot of teachers are getting into the consulting side, but usually when you get into the consulting side of the business, you end up leaving the classroom. So that's a choice you really have to make, and some people aren't comfortable making that choice. But the other big thing about open is not just the giving away or the sharing of your materials. It's also the creating of the materials. Not only should you share it freely, but you should share how you make it. And this is what the open as an educator that really makes things special. As I start sharing not just my lessons, but why I develop my lessons and what I want my lessons to teach and how I expect them to reach the students. And I share that with other educators, and they come back and say, I use it in my classroom, and here's the changes I make, or have you thought of doing it this way, or taking it all the way out into left field and making it completely different. So these are the things that as teachers we really can learn. Use open educators. Um, it makes us better teachers. It makes the materials, the resources we create that much better. So whether that person is your friend down the hall, or your co-teacher down the hall, or somebody 1,000 miles away who you've only met online, still the principle is the same. And this openness also bleeds out into the classroom, because now I'm not the master of everything. I don't have to have everything perfect. I don't have to make my classroom perfect, my lessons perfect. I can let my students monkey around with my lessons, and they can start changing things. We start creating things like this open online experience, where we are talking about, I mean, one of the things I really have to get down, because this originally was an experience designed to teach my teachers how to integrate technology. So I really have to be able to teach them how to integrate technology. But do I have to set firm learning goals that every teacher in my school needs to get to? Will one teacher get to them faster than the other? So I have to differentiate for them anyhow. So is there a way for me to allow those teachers to choose their own learning goals? And I think that may be a possibility. Is that a possibility in every classroom? I don't know. Try it in yours. Tell me how it works.